Exa,
Legends, Teen Wow.
shut up. Exa, this is probably the most one of the most special lives that I'll ever have, dude.
Yeah, you
Um,
think?
yeah, boy, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, basically, this, like I said, the whole point of these lives is to kind of like have someone change their life, yeah, bro.
Yeah,
And I and I think like there's nothing more, um, no one more proud than I've been with or been around than you, yeah, bro.
yeah.
And I mean, coming from the exact next door of it,
Right
literally
next door, man.
next door of it, um, yeah, coming from the next door and then separating for like whatever 10 to 15 years and then coming back together and meeting up again like it was yesterday. Yabo.
Exactly.
Uluge, Ndoluge. Still, we on this journey, yabo. And then you find like 20, 27, 28 years later, you in a different country, I'm in a different country, and we're still on the phone trying to inspire the young youth, boy.
Exactly. Friendship never lost, man.
Yeah,
Nothing
boy.
changes.
Fuck.
I
But
mean,
yeah, so yeah, I've been from to like, what would you like growing up and stuff? Like, what did you have to go through? Like, a guy see that like setbacks that you had to go through and things that you found that were difficult, and then from those things, what did you end up doing to kind of overcome them?
one of the things that I can say that I went through when I was a kid, I grew up with my grandparents instead of my
Yeah,
parents, so my mom and dad, well, they were working like a lot, just to maintain for the family,
yeah,
you understand? So I basically just was with my grandparents most of the time. So I didn't see my parents that much, which you were also there most of the time. You were one of my friends, so you had the experience.
mm,
So it was kind of tough not to see your parents all the time. But I mean, at that time you're a kid, so you don't really
yeah,
know, or but
yeah,
like kind of at a later stage, it kind of affects you.
yeah,
It kind of hits you, so you're like, where was my dad at that moment, where was my mom at that moment, because there's a certain piece missing from me that I could have had in that childhood, building me on to become this man that I am right now.
yeah, boy.
So I mean, overcoming it though, uh, I mean, I just grew up and became the person that I am now.
Yeah. So then, when you were younger, it was just the fact that like it was you were the single child, and then you were growing up with your grandparents, and then people that kind of ukulana were your friends. Yeah, were
Yeah.
people around you that were manudala now.
Yeah.
And then that, what kind of kid were you? What kind of child were you? Were you like an angry child? Was it like an ambitious child?
I'd say, I'd say what kind of child I was. I was a very shy little guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very low self-esteem, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have that much confidence in myself. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
because my parents, like, they weren't around that much at that time. But yeah, very shy, very low self-esteem. Like, didn't have many friends like as a child. Like I said, like, while living in Gooks, and then you were my only friend because you were my next door neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that changed when I got older, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then say now between the ages of like say late like 15 to 20 or 15 to 25, like
Yeah.
how would you describe your life then when like you kind of then started living with your family, like how were things then?
Um, 15 to 25, it was a lot going on because we were moving like up and down.
Mm,
So, I mean, my parents were trying to be stable. They were trying to find like a proper home for
place.
the kids because there was my brother as well. So it was two of us. So we were moving from Mandalay. We went from Mandalay. We went to Gooks. From Gooks, we went to what do you call this place next to Mandalay? I forgot the name. But then
Yeah,
after that, we went to Montana. So we never really had like a stable house.
kind
So
of house.
exactly. So every time I had a friend, I had to change the friend. So I would lose that friend. So I never really, really had friends until I
Yeah,
moved to Montana. which was basically where I started Fine Stabilization.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though there, a lot has happened. Like I said, I was like a shy kid and, you know, very low self-esteem, not really confident. That's because maybe that my mom couldn't afford to buy me certain shoes that one guy had or certain clothing. I didn't have the same clothing as those guys who were living there because their moms used to spoil them, you know, big time, you know. They had everything. I didn't have those things. So
Yeah.
that kind of put me down as a person. And it took me a while to actually find my potential because of that. But if my parents had to like put that confidence in me when I was a kid, you know, like tell me they love me, give me hugs, give me kisses, they never gave me any of that.
Yeah.
So they showed me love in a different way. You know how some
Hard,
black
hard.
parents are. They're harsh, you know. And you know my dad, he's a hardcore man. You know, he would always tell me, if you want to be better than me, you gotta have more trophies than me. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
behind my back, he would show me love. So, like I was speaking, like not having a lot of, not being rich, like being just there surviving and stuff like that. I would always go back to my mom and I would cry that, oh, you know what? I don't have these shoes. I want those shoes. You know, some people they get toughies for iskela. Like what
Yeah.
where now Zotengelwa, let's say this cheap shoe from anywhere. Yeah, fine and the toughies, but it's not the toughies. You understand? You know, when you get to school, then your friends they know it's not the toughies, and they start and they start dissing you, and they're telling you, "Hey, man, that's not the shoe."
And now it's not
So
a good of it, yeah.
exactly, that's not the shoe, man. It looks like the shoe. It's fake, and you know how kids are. So
Yeah.
that hits you hard, man, as a
Yeah.
kid growing up and having a group of kids and you all playing together. Then your friends start be like, you know what? We don't want to hang out with this guy because he doesn't dress like us. He doesn't look like us. You
Yeah.
know, and you start sucking up to people, and that just affects you big time mentally, you
Yeah.
know, and it takes a lot to actually overcome. And then I think that's also one thing that kind of leads you to start wanting to do the cool things like smoking, going into drugs,
Yeah.
drinking at an early age because you just want to be better or you want to fit in with these type of guys, you know. And that all comes from not being able to, your parents not being able to afford certain things or not doing certain things for you. So it puts a lot of pressure on you as a person,
Yeah.
and you start doing all that nonsense. So yeah, man, and I mean, I did do the bad stuff as a kid,
Yeah.
but now I'm glad because I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think it's so important, like especially for like guys, man. Amachita, akulekasi, ogana machita that grow up without say father or mother figures. You find that like between the ages of 15 and 25, it's so crucial because you can either become an addict or you can then start doing something, you know, about your life. You know what I mean? So how did you then like manage to not? Because yeah,
Yes.
most of most of them were like Uchiri and the boy as well with the hoarse voice. Like, how did you not become that? Like, because like you're saying, if you had so low self-esteem, then chances are that you would then go and start doing, say, drugs and doing alcohol, and then trying to be the cool kid.
Yeah.
How did you then do that, but then did not live or go down that road? What had happened?
So basically, to not do those things, I would say one thing that really saved me from doing all these crazy things was probably sport. I mean, I started joining a club called Montana Vikings. I think I've been there basically my entire life. I would say they saved me from doing this crazy shit. I mean, as a kid, you did do crazy shit, but I mean, you always had sport. Having a match on a Saturday and having
Yeah.
2 practices a week. And you know, if you do shit, that's going to affect you. It's going to make you a bad player. So
Yeah.
as a kid, you have something that excites you that you really want to do. You want to be the best, you know? So you kind of forget about these small little things like smoking and drinking and going to these little parties because of sport. And it kind of drives you, and it also becomes your second home. So I think sport is a really big thing for kids, and it helps them build confidence in some type of way. So that's what I think. Like most people, they do it. They play it in the street, but playing sport in the street, you don't really have a goal. You're
A
just
goal.
playing for fun, and so I think it's always good to have a lot of sports clubs where they can get the kids to join and start going at it, man. You know.
Yeah, no, that's true, boy. I think as well, like when we think about Amachita Sakula now, most people that are still doing all of these things that are not gonna, they're not gonna grow from, is that they have something that a second home. Yeah, but like home was broken or home was not where they really wanted to be, then gangs was the next kind of home.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
gangs was the next type of home, or bad friends were the next type of home, or another broken family. Yeah,
Exactly.
when you started, especially as a guy, for Mikasi, you need to have purpose. It's easy there to just get like sidetracked. Yeah, well, you find that you go out 1 week and then all of a sudden gone out for a month. All of a sudden now you're part of a gang, and all of a sudden now pitching cheese and and it's like
Exactly.
you have no purpose, you have nothing to go through. So you find that then that's why I think a lot of guys have like this whole like, I want to be a rapper, or I want to be a footballer, I want to be a writer, I want to use some skill that I can to kind of run away from this type of stuff. Yeah, but it's like if there's no backup from family or from friends, then you kind of then leave that stuff, and then you find that, well, then what? I've got backup in the gang. At least I can be with my brasa in the gang.
Because sorry to disturb you. It's because they appreciate you for the wrong things, man. It's still some type of love, but it's the love for the wrong things. So I know that to Ulungelo, we're gonna go rob a shop together. I know he's with me. I know Ulungelo, we're gonna smoke weed together. I know Ulungelo, we're gonna do crystal meth together. We do it together, and you do it together, and you start feeling certain emotions, and you're like, you know what? This is my family, but that's not actually your family. You're actually going down the drain. You don't realize that because it's also bad at home. Do you understand? So when it's bad at home and it feels kind of good with your friends, you kind of get confused where you want to be, and you start really not caring about life or what you should do, and you start waking up when it's too late, man. Even though it's never too late, but some are already addicted to those things. It just takes away those feelings that they get from home. Do you understand? Those bad feelings. So it's kind of like an escape from the real world. So it's really tough, man, for kids going up in that areas, because I've seen people with extreme talents, like really, really good soccer players, good basketball players. But these guys, they used to play with me. Right now, they're not playing with me anymore. They're not there. Like, I wonder, where are these guys? They were so super talented. And all I do is I meet them in the streets, and they were like, you know what? I used to be better than you, man. And, if only I can come back, when I come back, I can still kick you, and you're super far. You can see, man, in their hearts, it's not that they're jealous of you. They really regret not taking that path, And you will get people who will judge them, but they don't understand their story. Everybody has a story to tell, man. Every guy who went down the drain, every guy who went the wrong way has a story to tell. So I never judge people, man. I know there's always something behind it. It's probably a bad childhood or something that they're going through at home. Nobody just becomes a bad person. You understand that? We're all born good people. I mean, normal kids, when you come from the hospital, you don't know anything. You just take in what you are taught from home. You understand? Sometimes not from home. Maybe if you're not getting it from home, you go find it in the hood. That's exactly how it is. And that's just the person you become. And that kind of, I believe in the universe, the kind of energy you give to the universe, that's the kind of energy you're going to get, So if you live by the gun, you die by the gun. If you live by the knife, you die by the knife. Sooner or later, somebody's going to do the same thing to you. Do you understand what you've been doing to others? So it's always up to you, man, when you want to achieve something, where you direct your energy to. It doesn't matter if let's say you go out a lot, okay, you meet a lot of people out, then you're going to be known for going out, and you're going to know only those fake people that you go out and meet. You understand? Because that's where you direct your energy to. if you play sport, you're gonna get real people, you know, you're gonna get real friends. You know, if you go to school and you study with people, you're gonna get real friends there as well, you know, because you study with those people and you have the same goal. But going out and drinking, you're not really sure about those people, you know, because maybe, I'm not saying everyone, but maybe most of them, they've got issues. You know, you go out and drink, and that's the only time you become friends.
Yeah.
Maybe after those drinks, you know, I know Lungelo always has money. So I'm only going to be friends with Lungelo because he always has money. Do you understand? So, and I know he's going to buy beers so that we can both escape. And that's the only time I'm friends with Lungelo. But when we are not going out to drink, why am I not friends with Lungelo?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always expecting things from you, and I start becoming this person that's using people. Do you understand? And I feel like when you become friends, you should always do 50-50. Even though it's not 50-50, when you know somebody is like your real friend, you would go 100% for him, because it doesn't matter. So when we go out, we don't both have to think about money. Like, you know what, today I'm not going to take out my money because I know Lungelo's going to buy 10 beers for us, or 10 of that for us, you know. It's just not the right mentality.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you also a couple of questions. So I mean, you also grew up from Ikasi and all that stuff. I mean, you've experienced Ikasi, and you're quite well known from the ghetto, you know. Everybody knows you there. So I mean, you came out, you went from a Ikasi kid. I know you were an actress when you were a little kid as well, you know. So your parents kind of put you into places, you know, that kind of helped you to push yourself and become the person you are. And you moved and you went to one of the top schools in Cape Town, Sax. That was the top school. You played hockey, you made the national team. How did you push yourself, man? How did you do those things, you know?
Sheesh. Okay. Yeah, I think, a lot of it I obviously have to give to my parents, because they kind of paved the way in the sense. But you know, when you're young, you don't know what you're gonna do in Goms. Yeah, well, you're chilling and you're saying, okay, well, if you do and then that's it, you know. And tomorrow you wake up, you don't know who's gonna cook what, and and how the lights are on and stuff, and you know how you're gonna get to school. But then they put those things in place, and then you know, and then you get there and you do stuff, and you find that I don't even know how I survived school, to be honest. Like I just used to hate school. I remember the first time I used to have Twitter. And I don't have it anymore, but I used to look at the tweets that I'd write, and it was always about school. Like, I hate school, and this and that, and this and that. So I was like, not an angry child, but I was just like rebellious one. And I don't know where like the rebellious thing came from. Maybe it was just like, I wouldn't say it's family, because my parents were together, but I'd say it was just like a thing of, I just never had like close friends. It was always just friends there, and I always just felt like I could give a bit more, but there was no one there, and I was kind of like an energetic type of child. Yeah? And then I went to school, and again, for me, it was, I think, when I used to run away from sport a lot. Yeah. I never used to want to play sport because I never knew sport. From Mikasi, all you know is playing Tiski on the corner, Now you go to, you know, a Model C type school, and it's like, they don't have soccer here, so what is it, all these sports? And time goes by, and they force you back, so you have to play sport, And then I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to play the closest thing to soccer, which I know, and I'll just play hockey. And then you go there, and you play hockey, and then you find that, like, I remember the coach, like, that time was like, you know what, like, let's go. Like, you can play A-side, we're going on Perth. I was like, what? Still, I didn't want to play this sport. And then from there, I think that's where it's these small little moments that you find it kind of like that push you. Yeah, it's like it almost seems as though you walk, but you just need one jump to then be into the clouds. Yeah, and it was just that little jump that I kind of found that, oh, you know what? Like, I went there, and then I remember I was like a top scorer there, and then I couldn't believe it, and I didn't even know how to explain that to my parents, because first of all, you know hockey.
Yeah, because you don't know what that is. You never grew up playing it.
Exactly. So it's like, how do you explain that, like, you're the top scorer, and all you want is like for them to say, okay, well done, Yabo. And then you just explain that stuff. And I remember going home being like, yeah, no, I scored a lot of goals. And like, okay, cool. Like, are you going to school tomorrow? And I'll be like, yeah, okay, cool.
So
Yeah,
so they didn't care much about the sport or what you were doing when it comes to sport. They only cared about the school.
yeah, they didn't know it that much to care about it. Yeah, and you know, then after that, I was like, you know what, I actually kind of like the sport. Then I'd go back and play and play and play. And then I remember I started playing under 14, and then I captained that team. And I went home and I was like, hey, we're playing at Wynberg, so it was just down the road where I stayed. I said, no. I also think that the fact that I actually had to move out. So my parents made the first leap to move out of Kasi and not have me always ingrained in that kind of mentality, you know. Because I always, even from Kenilworth where I used to stay, I used to always go back to Akasi every day. So
I know that. I know that.
Grow and then chill there, and then they would fetch me from there. So I used to chill with the boys and then come and sleep when you play Gabo. So that became my routine all the time. Yeah. Then I kind of saw how different the places were, but so like, you know, energetic and stuff, and yes, very quiet and kind of structured. Yeah. And then so I played hockey. Then after that, I played like I said, I was a captain in the 14 side. And then even then, I didn't know how to explain that to my parents, but to the point where I used to have like other kids' parents like congratulate me and tell me if I had good games. But hey, Lungi, you played well. What? And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Like I would like that if it came from the right people. Yeah,
exactly.
But I don't know how to take it. Yeah, exactly. And then from there, I remember even going back and I had. That day I was like it was such a brotherly type moment, like this boy like really like won, and I was like, oh, you know what, okay, cool, let me just wear it and stuff. And then going back home, I went back home again. I was like, hey, I'm captaining the hockey side, and they're like,
God damn.
Man, yeah, I used to I was like, man, what's going on? Yeah,
and it wasn't even something that you were passionate about. It was just that your parents weren't supporting you, and you thought, you know what, I'm going to do everything that I can to get their attention. And that's what drove you to become.
Exactly that, boy. Yeah, exactly that. Because I got the attention from the rest of the boys and their parents, but I just never got it from home, which is what for me I think matters. And then even under 16, I just started again. When I even made essay, it was like, yeah, you play essay, okay, cool. Are you going to school tomorrow? I'm like, man, I hate school. And then then I got to high school. Then I remember I was like, I even hate. Like, I think even the fact that I hate speaking about my achievements is because when I used to speak about it to the people that matter the most, they never gave me.
They never cared.
Yeah. So then for me, it's always like you know what? Well, I was on the honor board of the school in 2010, and I got a full blues blazer. It's like, yeah, but whatever I achieved, nothing. Yeah. And then I remember I even went to varsity and I just quit hockey. I was just like, man, I'm never gonna get the recognition that I want, Jabo.
Exactly.
And I just quit the sport. And I remember all the kids that I played with and stuff were like, sir, why would you stop? Like, you know, why don't you want to carry on with the stuff? And I was just like, you know, you always give those excuses. Well, no, I don't like the sport, man.
Exactly.
But then deep down,
not that.
yeah, deep down when you sit and think about it, you're like, because I just never got the recognition from the people that I needed to give me recognition for, yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was like, you know what? Obviously playing sport, and then I went to varsity. And again, I think because they put a lot of effort into like the thing that mattered, which for them was school, I kind of then could never take my eye off it because well, they were, like I said, just pass.
This gal. So you were this one extremely talented athlete, knowing you from the streets, playing soccer. You were really good, man. I mean, you even made national team in hockey, which means you could have made national team in soccer as well if you actually got the right support. But they directed you so much at school, which you actually excelled at school like very well. I mean, UCT, graduate, you know, everything like that. And now you actually just playing soccer like for fun. And
it's that passion, and even hockey, it's that passion.
Yes.
Even with school, I remember going to varsity, and I was graduating, and I was everyone in the class was talking about, we're going to graduation, we're going to wear this, we're going to wear that, and I was like, I'm not going there. I would say, why don't you going to graduation, you know, grad is a big thing for people. Now it's just like, no, only like it's just not, it's not for me. Like for me, I'd rather go and do something else, carry on with the day, find a job, and then go work. But then when you think about it, it's like it's maybe because I've become the person that achievements is not something that I like to celebrate because it was never celebrated at home.
Exactly.
So for me, it was like, whatever, man. It's just what it is. Yeah, and that's kind of like a life thing now, where like now that I've left South Africa to go elsewhere, I don't tell anyone. Yeah, the previous job that I was at, working at a big soccer club, like no one knew about it. Yeah, well, up until I wanted, they're like, and then I was like, for me again, it's that mentality of I'm gonna tell you, and then what? Like, what am I expecting? There's nothing.
I don't want your compliments. I don't need it because you're not the right people to give it to me, and you never got it from the right people.
Yeah, boy. So then yeah. So I think that's kind of it's the one thing that I've always wanted as a boy, but it's probably the one thing that also motivated me. But I said, maybe let me do a bit more. Let me do a bit more. And instead of like getting a compliment and then saying, okay, cool, I'm fine, relax. So I guess it's like it drove me. It could have defeated me. It drove me, which is kind of like the same thing that I'm saying to you, that like you could have literally gone the other way and started smoking all these things. But for you, it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm worth much more than this. Yeah? So I know that I've got low self-esteem. I know that I've got this and that, but I'm moving forward in Javaya, and my journey might not be like centered around one thing, but I know that it's somewhere there. So let me just go in the direction. Yeah.
Yes.
And obviously through that, you find that one day is good, and then the next day is terrible. But then you find that I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and start again. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and start again. And it's just that the people that don't give up are the ones that make it. The ones that have the biggest drive, it doesn't really make you. If you fail once and you quit, then that's it. You need to fail, and then say, no, and now we're having a conversation like this, and we're thinking to ourselves, like, sir, that's better. We were. The other time we had, when I tore my ACL and you had your shoulder, for the car accident, your wrist and your elbow.
Oh, yes.
We were chilling together and we still didn't have any direction. And now we're buying this one side, and I'm just like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing with life as well. Do I want to be,
we were very confused that we were just chilling and having beers, you know, like
that, and we're chilling and we're having drinks because it's easier that way. It's easier to just
escape.
Drink in that direction, yeah. But then the thing is, it's that even through all of that, it was like we're still not gonna fail. We're still not going to smoke. We're still not going to be in a gang. We're still not going to do all this negative stuff. Yes, this road is blurry, but we're moving and we're going. And then before you know it, we're at the gym together, and it's like, hey, okay, let's gym together. We don't know where we don't know where this direction is going, but we have a vision, and it's somewhere there, and it's just through hard work and it's through persevering. And then you find that we start gymming together, we gym together, it becomes part of our daily routine. A month, 3 months, and we're gymming, and then we're still chilling and we're having fun together. But it's like now the thoughts of having thick and being in gangs is gone. Like it's not there because we focus on other things. And then boom, something, because again, like you're saying, the universe gives to you what you give back, what you give to it. So you find that, and then you go and meet someone that is like, no, you know what, I appreciate you, man. I can see your drive. I like what you're doing, and I actually really care for you. Yeah. And then you find, like, I like you too, man, and I like your drive, and I like the fact that you can then give me something that I have been kind of longing, you know, a certain type of direction. And then she's like, let's make this work. Yeah. And even when you did that, I'm still chilling, and I'm like, I'm not sure. That's not my road. Yeah. I can see my boy's happy. Yeah. I can see my boy's going where he wants to be, and he's but I can see one to forecast, and I don't want to take him out of his focus because I'm proud of what he's doing, and I don't want him to be like, just because now you focus, I'm trying to pull you back. But I will fit. We were doing this whole thing together.
Exactly. Let's go do it again. Come on, let's have more drinks. Just because I'm seeing that you're more focused than I am. And I mean, that's what people do.
Yeah, boy. But then it's like underground. I'm chilling and I'm thinking, okay, the boy's doing this. Okay, he's mapping. He's doing this. He's inspiring me low key. But I'm not going to tell him, because as soon as I tell him, Umchita is going to stop doing it, because now he's going to feel like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm the boy. But it's like, no, boy. Okay, what am I lacking? Let me try and do this. Let me try. Maybe let me just try and find someone that's going to put up a little bit of direction. That's going to be, you know, and you're scared in those times. But like, this is like 2 years ago, 20, 27, 26. You're thinking, I'm not quite sure, but I like what the boy's doing. And then boom, the boy says, like, sit your fit in the fire. And you're like, what? Like,
the boy's leaving.
what's going on? Yeah, well, no, boy, I'm going. My chick is pregnant. I'm going with her. I'm going to Norway. And it's like, okay, but boy, like, sit down. Why are you going there? What are you going to do when you get there? What's going to happen? Do you have a plan? What's this? What's that? What's this? And then it's like, boy, I don't have a plan. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's fearful. And again, it goes back to that childhood thing, but you're back to being you
fragile.
You don't know where your friends are going to be. You're running away from certain things. You're fragile. Even though now you think you have something, it's still a lot to lose, yabo. And I'm also like, hey, I'm scared for the boy, yabo. But you know what? You have to take that leap, because if you don't, you'll be mad at yourself even worse if you stay in your bubble, yabo.
Yeah,
and then gone, yabo. Except Meta, no, he's gone. He's gone to Norway. He doesn't know what's going to happen there, but he's taking that leap, yabo. And then I'm chilling and I'm like, you know what? That's inspiration then. That's inspiration, and it's not that I'm pulling you down. It's that I'm trying to use the boy to say, oh, okay, yeah, he mapped like this. Okay, this is footprints. Let me read his footprints. Let me make my own from his footprints. And then from there, you'll see him try to make his footprints out of my own, and we just building each other. Yeah? And then boom, before you know it,
I'm busy with something else. So we're actually boosting each other by actions and not words. You know, that's what you're basically saying. Yeah,
and exactly. Fit.
Yeah, I think that's much more
powerful than anything.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I also wanted to mention thing like, I mean, when you get like proper love from your parents, you know, like proper love, like they show you love, they give you hugs, they treat you good, they push you, they let you do what you want. I mean, you take that love and you start giving it, and you start loving the right people, like when you in the right way, when you go into relationships, when you go into friendships, you don't start being that person that's
all the time.
Exactly, like you hear and then you're there and then you hear and then you hear, but people don't really understand why people do that. Why is this person there? Why is this person there? All of a sudden he's loving here. No, he also wants that love. He also wants that love. But that's only because you did not get the right love from your parents. You know, they didn't see what you really wanted. And I mean, I have a kid now. I don't want that for my kid.
Bro.
I want to make sure that I give him everything that I never had, and not just materialistic, but like be there for him, listen to him, become his best friend. You know, you understand, and let him do what he wants to do. Do you understand? So I mean, I came to Norway. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what I'm gonna do here. But to be honest, things are going very well right now. Maybe this is where I'm destined to be. Like I always have this saying in my mind that says, if you keep applying for jobs in South Africa and you keep applying for schools in South Africa, you keep trying to get something solid in South Africa, maybe that's not, and you don't get it, maybe that's not where you're meant to be. You know, the world is big, but it can also be very small. But that's up to you. Maybe let's say God put something for you in Iceland or something like that. You don't know that, but you're busy searching in South Africa. Do you think you're ever going to reach a goal? No, the world is not going to wait for you though. But if you keep pushing and looking for the right ways and the right things, and stop being stubborn as a person and say, you know what, I'm going to do it that way. And if you keep being stubborn and saying that you're going to do it that way, you might not ever reach your goal ever. So what I'm saying is that you got to be open to a lot of things coming to you. There's a lot of opportunities coming over to you. Like to me, I got a girlfriend, and then I ended up overseas. I never knew I would have ended up overseas with a girlfriend. I never knew.
And you find, boy, that it comes. It's like these things, they come as a result of you always trying to be positive. Because you find I remember there was a time you were even fighting with Amachita, and Umeta's the bad guy, and he's always angry, and he's this and he's that. And Amachita don't see you like that, and then you want to make a coca like say, I know, I don't understand what's going on, and you could have so easily kind of like just being that angry guy. But you know what? You know, these boys, I'm just going to leave them. Like, I'm just going to be there fighting with them all the time. But with Kalebaya doing today, let me wake up and go to the gym. Let me wake up and go to the gym. I know it's difficult. I know my parents don't have anything. I know that I don't have anything. I know that my brother doesn't have anything. I know that my friends don't have anything. But what I do have is purpose. And what I do have is
exactly.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you, but sorry to cut you, but wouldn't you fight with everybody who, let's say you live in a bungalow, or you live in a shack or something like that, and you bring these friends over because you think they're your friends, and these people keep dissing you with what you have and what you don't have. Do you understand? So whenever they know that you have a lot of potential, so they always try to put you down. They say, "Oh, Lungelo, you live in a bungalow." And then they laugh at it. Wouldn't you fight with those people? You're already angry that you're in this situation, and it's tough at home. Let's say you maybe didn't eat today at all. Nobody knows. You're afraid to ask these friends because you didn't eat, and because you know they're gonna give you bread, but they're gonna make fun of you after. You know, that's what changes people. That's what makes people angry. So maybe that's why I beat them up when they did a mistake, because they always made fun of me.
It's a vicious cycle. But this is the thing. This is what I'm saying to you. That's why I'm saying, like, the inspiration that you get from conversations like this is so much that sometimes I don't even think I will be able to understand Luisi Teta because it comes from so far and so deep that it's now so at a different level that, like, it's almost hard to imagine, like, sis, like,
that's
you know,
where
like,
come from.
like, it's like, again, it's like, how, of course, when you think about it, like, say, like, it shows me I'm going out with them, they, you know, study so and all of this and all of that, and we diss each other and all of this stuff. But then it's like, at the same time, like, I still have sensitivity issues. I still have these. I might be out there and be like, okay, I'm the most confident guy. I'm getting all the chicks. I'm getting this. I'm getting that. But it's like, I'm not getting what I want, though.
Exactly. It's not what you want, you know, but you're still getting it. But it's actually something else that you're looking for, you know. But the amount of energy that you put looking for that something, you end up getting the things that you don't want.
Yes.
You understand? So I mean, it's really tough, man. Like, I would say, like, if I would look for something in a relationship, and I mean, I've been in a lot of relationships, and I've messed up as well. They've messed up as well. But the only thing that I know, like, right now that I'm in a solid relationship now, that the only thing that I ever looked for was hugs and kisses and love. I never had materialistic things. But that's nothing that I ever looked for. It's not something that I ever looked for. I always look for love, hugs, and kisses. That's it. You have to show me that you care about me. You have to hold me. You have to hold my hand. You have to touch me. You have to hug me. You know, you don't have to do anything for me, because everything that I've done it myself. You know, because of the way my parents were. You know, they couldn't do much for me. I had to get up at a certain age, go work at the back of a bashu, you know, you make that 5 rand that time, that 10 rand, just so that you can buy a Gatsby with your friends, you know, just so that you can finish. That's where it starts, where you start getting your own things. You know, you're busy with school, you know, you're in high school, you look for an extra job on the side because you know your parents can't handle it, you know, and you go to school, it's service day, you have to wear casual clothes, you know, your parents don't have that extra 5 rand to give to you. What do? You go to school with uniform. That's already driving you crazy. And then you get into school, then the people are like, why are you wearing uniform? We're all wearing casual clothing. That's man, you dying inside, and with those moments you start thinking about committing suicide.
You have to make decisions. That's when
you make decisions, you know. Should I go drink? Should I throw myself off the building? What should I do? You know, and that's only because
it's very easy to choose the one more than the other, because you find that it's harder for you to come back from all of this bullying or all of this stuff that you're getting that is hurting you. It's harder to come back from that. It's easier to you just to leave the world.
Leave the world, exactly.
To leave the world, to leave the drugs or alcohol, or I'm every day, or again, suicide. Yeah, but then you think to yourself, it's like, okay, well, why am I doing the easy thing then? That's not what I'm about. I'm always about doing the hard thing. So you know what? Then there's 2 things. Then you find that that's kind of like what we then became good at. Okay, as no, also okay, so
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you're gonna say some shit, I'm gonna tell you some shit too. Yeah, well,
But
and then
you
we
know,
stand up, we see what's happening.
you know, another thing that I also realized, you know, I have a lot of friends that are gangsters. You
Mm.
know, they were my friends. They were once good people.
Yeah,
Man, those people are some of the nicest people I've ever met, man. I'm not
it's
even
just
lying.
direction.
They would kill someone, shoot them in the head just like that. But
Mm.
if you talk to them and you meet them, you can see the goodness in this person. This person has so much potential, but they're
Mm.
probably just doing that because of what they experienced back then,
Yeah. Resentment.
because of how your friends were dissing you, because
Yeah,
of how your parents couldn't afford that, because of how your parents never showed you love in a certain way. Now you
yeah.
grow up with so much anger, and you start
Then you
doing all
become
these.
parents. You become
Exactly,
your parent, and then your kids become you, and then it
exactly.
becomes a cycle. Becomes, and this is the thing as well, is that it doesn't even end. It, it's not even like as much as it can be very much in Cape Town like a cultural type thing, but colored people per se. It can be anyone. It can be people that are living in Musenberg. It can be people that are living in Camps Bay. Yeah, but
Mm.
it's everyone just needs that little bit of a push, and this is why, like I said, we're doing stuff like this. Like, say, yeah, I have a brother, you have a brother, we both have sisters. It's like I needed a little bit of a push to say, you're the best at what you're doing, keep doing it. Just that. Yeah, but Oganye, look, you know what? I see this potential in you. Keep doing it.
Exactly.
Don't lose focus. Zegas in your life, and before you know it, you go to your friends and you tell them, you know what? Screw all of you. Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought that you
Exactly.
guys were my leaders, but then my leader told me, by extension, I'm telling you, do this.
Exactly. So what you're basically saying is that if you had to get the right love from your
Yeah,
parents, those
yeah.
words
Caregivers,
come,
yeah.
those words coming from your friends, coming from people outside saying
I
that
mean,
you're not good at something, they would mean nothing.
they
You would
mean
actually be so confident in yourself that
yeah.
they actually wouldn't even be able to say those things to you. Do you
Nothing,
understand?
and then you find this is the thing though, is that this is what I realized is that even in my friendship circles that I also had, yeah, it was kind of like a okay, go to school, you get bullied because now you're more of a model C type of boy, and you know this. When I was close, I got or whatever, whatever. Then it's like okay, so now I go to school, and then there I'm not. I'm too black.
Mm.
Ne? And then you come and you go home, then it's like, oh, here you're not black enough. Yeah.
That's true.
Then it's like, yeah. Then it's like, okay, cool. That's learning. What's the alternative here? I can shrivel up and then eat every time I go to these groups of people. I'm the outlier. Yeah.
Mm.
Or I can just be like, guys, learning. I am myself. I stand for myself. I do what I do. Whatever I think is right, I will do it. And if you come and you correct me, then tell me why, and then we can do it otherwise. But I
Mm.
don't care about any one of you. I am my biggest confident booster. And then I
Mm.
gain more confidence from there. Then
Mm.
you find that then as soon as someone wants to say something, then it's one-on-one. Then from team fit, ring a and we can bring it.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, and before you know it, then you start seeing all the guys that actually don't have backbones, the guys that are harder in groups, and then you kind of single them out and you crumble the whole group, and then you go there and you crumble the whole group, and then you're the one person, and then you find that from you understanding that the world is not soft, it's not going to change for you, but
Nope.
what you can do is you can make yourself braver. You can make
Exactly.
it, you know what, I can deal with this, and then you find that those people then want to come and be part of your kind of if it no man accept and you're like no go ahead stop it now but I'm my own person. I'm gonna go
Exactly.
my own
And
way.
I don't need you and I don't want you in my crowd. That's it.
I used to do that from you all the time.
Yeah,
I say,
I noticed. I noticed that.
yeah,
I noticed that you never really hung out with a lot of guys. You knew a lot of people, but you never
yeah,
really hung out with a lot of guys.
no,
So but the funny thing is that in the world you need people, but you could actually manage without those people. You
none.
know, you always did things on your own. Like, let's say you graduated, you had a car, you were driving a car by 17, 18. You were chilled, man. You were doing your own thing. You were super focused. And me as your friend, I was looking up to that. I was like, look at this guy, man. He's not showing that much emotions. He shows emotions to the right people.
Yeah,
And that kind of, I wasn't jealous about it, you know? I was like, damn, that guy is doing well for himself. I
yes,
need to get my shit together. I need to push myself and get that, you know. And
yeah,
one thing I wanted to also explain, when I injured myself, I dedicated almost my entire life to basketball, almost my entire life, which was a good thing, but also not that much of a good thing, you know. So I mean, when I got injured, I kind of like just lost everything. All my friends were gone. I never got that much support from my teammates. You know, everything just went ice cold, you know. And you know, the doctor's telling you that you're never going to play again. That's
Devastating.
my man. It's, you don't even start. You stop feeling the pain that's coming from the injury. It hits you here, and it hits you there. You know, what am I gonna do? You know, and I didn't know what to do. And I haven't spoken to you in like how long? 5 years, 6, 7, and then you know, I had all these close friends. Most of them were physiotherapists, and most of them. And then I spoke to you about the injury. You came to my house immediately, boom, and we haven't spoken in 6 years. And you were like, you know what? I'm gonna help you out with this injury. You started, and you saw me in my eyes. I was crying every day. I didn't believe in myself anymore. It was just over for me. But you still managed to strap my leg, and you knew how long my injury would take to heal. But you told me every day, you know what? It's gonna get better. 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, a month, and that kind of motivated me. That, you know what? You can actually get better. You know, and I started believing that I'm gonna get better. It's an impossible injury to recover from. It's a peroneal nerve drop foot. Once you're in the drop foot, it can take 5 years to recover from the injury. And I recovered from that injury in 1 year. And that's only because of, I had that one friend who was there for me, who really believed that I could recover, who took his time and came to my house and strapped my foot, and you know, like just made me just changed my mindset and the way of thinking. And I've kind of like taken that mindset and put it into everything in life. You know, so I kind of took it like that. That injury happened for a reason. It made you notice who's real and who's not. It made you change your whole mindset. Well, not just for that, but into things in life. And then once I got that injury, I started succeeding in other things as well. Because I started believing, you know what, I can achieve that. I can achieve that. I can also achieve that. And pain became my best friend. Suffering became my best friend. It's normal. It's the only way you can grow. I started thinking, you know what, those things, they're normal in life. You know, heartbreak became a normal thing in my life.
You embrace it, boy.
Exactly.
You make it your friend instead of saying, oh, if I feel pain, then I'm going to be mad. You take it and you say, oh, pain, okay, cool, sharp. What can I feel other than that? And then pain says, yeah, I can't get through to him.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it becomes, I believe that people should make that their best friends. You can't live life and not expecting to struggle. You can have money, but you're going to struggle in a certain way. You cannot have money.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I believe that you should make pain your best friend. You should be prepared to suffer. You should prepare for rejection. Tell me, how many girls or how many jobs have you applied for and you got rejected? It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing, you know?
Sorry.
You go up to a girl, you ask her a number and stuff like that, you get rejected. It's a normal thing. You know, but if you're not prepared to make rejection your friend, you might just go down and down and down. You apply for a job, you don't get taken, and you keep going down and down because you don't understand that these things are meant to happen to you. It's normal things.
The purpose, rather. If you have a purpose, then whatever happens here in between doesn't matter. We are part of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because it's the same way that even with chicks, you find that then, like, we used to get the most chicks, for example, but we used to get rejected the most. Yeah, well, because we become afraid of rejection. We became, when we were young, it's like we were afraid of we were afraid of rejection, but then we were like, and then says to me, "Bah, no, you know what? You're not for me." It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's not meant for you.
Undu's like, hey, actually, I like that guy. I like how confident he is. And even then, you're like, oh, go away. I'm still here, and I'll still be doing it. But I know that. And the thing is, people will then look at you and say, yeah, Adam Chitalo has a lot of chicks. They won't look at you and say, you've lost a lot of chicks.
Exactly.
And it's like, more chicks than you have ever thought of.
Exactly.
Let alone fact that you can get a lot of other chicks. Yeah, bro. And then after you do stuff like that, and you're like, but then what is my purpose? Like, what am I doing with this thing that I'm doing? Yeah, but then you start to say, you know what? This is not, doesn't really have like a purpose. And then I see you, and I'm like, the boy's actually settling down, and he's not afraid of all these things, yeah, bro. And he's settling down. He has a child. Maybe I'm just afraid of this stuff, and I'm afraid of commitment, just like being afraid to commit to friendships and being afraid to commit to certain things. Maybe as time goes by, there's another thing I have to learn from Yabo. It hasn't even come yet, but I'm like, there's something that I'm looking back. So, man, this is how it goes. Look, I like the way that he's, that he's handling his child, man. I wish I could have something like that.
Exactly.
But then the thing is also, it's like, it's very important that the things that we do wasn't about when I'm looking at other people and I'm judging them, saying that, no, they are wrong, or this person is like this. It's like, no, if that person's like that, they're like that for a reason. Not, how am I? Maybe I'm the issue here. So if I'm the issue, let me fix myself. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think people are afraid to actually think that they are the issue.
Yes. Knowing about you are the problem, man.
Exactly. And I think the first thing before you get angry at anybody or start judging anybody, you first got to think, what did you do wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to affect you in any way. Just sit down and think, you know what? Maybe I'm the problem. You know what? Let me think about it before I go and attack this person. Be like, hey, you did this to me, and you did that, and you like this, and you like that. So, I mean, it's a bit difficult to do. I understand. You gotta have to be
strong, boy.
Yeah.
Super strong.
Yeah.
But that's the thing as well, is that, again, like I said, I think with all these things, when you look at hardships that you go through, like it's easy to be a gangster. It's easy to get girls and break people's hearts. It's easy to go out drinking and be addicted. It's easy to do all of that stuff.
It's very easy, man.
Then you find that if it's easy for you, it's easy for your brother. It's easy for your sister. It's easy for your cousins and everyone.
And they're all looking up to you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you keep saying, but the world is like this. Oh no, but white people have this, and oh no, that colored people have this. Oh no, but black people have this, and women have this, and men have this. And it's like, when are you gonna like when
are you gonna look at yourself?
Yeah, when are these fingers gonna point in? Because every single time it's an excuse. But I didn't have this, I have this job, this, and I need to school. I didn't have money at home. It's like, okay, you have all those problems there. Cool. What are your solutions?
Yeah.
Make another point. Yeah, but the thing is, and it's like, when you're ready, the time will come when you sit down and you say, maybe I just need to grow up. Maybe I just need to say, you know what? Let me have focus. Yeah? Let me have focus, and then once you have, because you find that after every problem will compound. Oh no, but then I can't be now doing this. But then you find that then you can't find a job when you don't have a kid, when you're single and you go out with the boys. You can't find a job. Then you go and impregnate someone, right? And then your parents say, hey, wait, and then you go, oh, okay, well, I have to look for a job now. Then you go and you find a job. Then it's like, so you needed adversity and you needed something negative to happen for you to find a job. Like,
exactly.
And now you're gonna use that as an excuse now to not go further. But no, I can't leave now because now I have a job. And it's like, fair to just, and this is the thing as well, is that the reason why I want to do something is like this, is that we can now at least tell our brothers, we can at least tell our cousins and the young ones, but say, my man, where you are at, boy, is no different to where we were at.
Exactly.
We weren't told. We weren't told, and now that you have the platform to hear this stuff, it's up to you to say, yeah, it's fine to be reckless and all that stuff, but let me use my potential to the highest possible potential I can have. Let me find direction for myself. If I'm shy, I need to then try and be confident if that's what I want to be. The only way I can do that is going through the bad stuff. Like you said, it's like you can be a pretty boy like you are, and then you find that girls will say,
I'm pretty? Shit, yeah, I didn't know that.
And you find girls will say, hey boy, hey, you're such a pretty guy, I want you, and I want this, and I want this, and then you find that still doesn't give me self-confidence.
Exactly.
That actually probably makes it even worse, because now you have to act a certain way. Now you can't now drop the ball because you can't now drop the ball because now you are now put on a pedestal. But then someone else might think to you, hey, but you have it all, bro. Like, what's wrong with you,
No, it was just
Yaniv,